For the first time in a half century, Virginia is trailing the nation in economic recovery and job creation. Steep cutbacks in federal funding for defense and other programs have exposed our overdependence on public sector and government contractor jobs.
We will always be connected to the federal government, if nothing else, for just proximity, next door neighbor to Washington, D.C. But the whole point of creating the new Virginia economy is one that is more reliant on private sector investment and less on federal.
We need to diversify our economy away from federal dependence, and we need to figure out the right solution for each region.
The economy of Virginia of old is gone. It's a new economy. We're still going to rely on defense funds, but we have to build that new sector: cybersecurity, human genome sequencing, data analytics. That's why I talk about every day building the new Virginia economy. And Go Virginia, we cannot do it unless regions work together.
The beauty of this program is, which I've not seen in other programs, is the regions are helped developing, whether it be governmental or the colleges and the business, they're helping develop the best strategies. They know what's best for their region.
The General Assembly in 2016, with the support of the governor, really passed a historical piece of legislation with Go Virginia. It's the beginning of a transformation of Virginia's economy all across the Commonwealth.
Go Virginia represents a change from what we've been doing in the past. You don't get any change without leadership. And in this case, the leadership at the highest level in the state stood tall for us.
But what we do have is a commitment from the legislature, the administration, business community, higher ed, put together and put in place a vision for the new Virginia economy. As the governor said, the way we have done it isn't working, it's not going to work in the future, and we've got to lead the way as a Commonwealth if we're going to be successful.
Our most significant achievement was the passage of a comprehensive package of Go Virginia initiatives that will incentivize collaboration among localities in order to strengthen and diversify Virginia's regional economies. Our leading legislation created the Virginia Growth and Opportunity Act. State-funded Go grants will leverage local, private, and other investment in key regional priorities that will create higher-paying jobs. A companion bill, the Collaborative Jobs Act, provides that if two or more localities collaborate and pursue economic opportunities together, they will receive 45% of the state personal income taxes generated from those jobs for up to 6 years. Go Virginia is also a part of the new Virginia Research Investment Committee that will recommend grants to increase focused applied research and the commercialization of R&D coming from our colleges and universities. The Growth and Opportunity Board has divided the Commonwealth into 9 administrative regions. Each region will identify its best economic development opportunities and related workforce needs that will enable them to create more high-paying jobs.
What Go Virginia allows us to do is become more strategic. The appropriation for Go Virginia really are 3 different line items in the budget. One was to assist regions to figure out where their greatest opportunities are for higher growth, higher wage jobs. Then each region would receive formula distributed funds based on population. And then there's a third pot that is going to be competitive. And so a region will collaborate on what we think will be some high impact projects.
The Go Virginia initiative will be looking on a regional basis to try to have us think outside the box for specific projects to bring in new business opportunities or to grow maybe a niche that this part of the state has that no other part of the state has.
I really like the thoughtful, business-like approach of Go Virginia. The idea that there's a roadmap that will be created, that the regions have plans in place and strategies in order to build on the precious dollars that we have as Virginians to grow the economy and to bring forward new high-paying jobs.
A real attraction to a company, because they know how unique it is for a large area to say we are one and we're working together on certain programs.
I think we need to move forward and stop cannibalizing each other and grow each region based on their sustainable strengths.
You don't bring business from another part of the Commonwealth. That doesn't do us any good. I think our growth potential is bringing in assets from overseas, diversifying.
It can be difficult for localities in rural areas to tackle large projects alone. Go Virginia presents a unique opportunity for rural Virginia to scale solutions that we already know work in our communities.
The metropolitan regions that are taking off throughout the country are those regions who've gotten to the table, gotten together, and actually thought of big ideas on how they actually can move the region and also the state forward.
Go Virginia initiative provides, as W said, a platform. It's an execution model. And more importantly, we all recognize that it has to be done on a flexible basis. The regions are not the same, and this model does that.
I think what the state can do is provide the incentives for them to do this. It won't be mandates.
We were very intent on maintaining that flexibility so that each region could define their own strengths and deal with their own weaknesses, and that flexibility is a real hallmark of the Go Virginia legislation.
One of the questions that we often get asked, well, is this replacing everything that's out there? And of course it's not. I mean, this is a new initiative that is meant to focus on a very specific area of growing higher wage jobs.
I think Go Virginia is going to play a very, very complementary role to the things that we're already doing in state government, and we can be doing better, whether it's economic development, workforce development, or community development.
The business community is now saying to us that we can count on them to be real partners in private sector job renaissance here in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Regions don't grow and prosper along political boundaries. They really grow and prosper along economic boundaries. We believe that this Go Virginia initiative is the next logical step in implementation of many of those initiatives within Blueprint Virginia.
And what's amazing to me is the similarities between Go Virginia and what we found through the Blueprint process. One, we all recognize the economy is changing. We know that we need to embrace bottom-up ideas. It's not going to happen unless we collaborate across business, education, and government.
The growing private sector in each region will require literally tens of thousands of workers with industry-recognized credentials. We need to work together to invest in workforce training that meets the demand in the private sector.
You know, I don't know that there has ever been a time that was more important for universities, research universities in particular, to be committed to economic development.
One thing that is particularly exciting to me is trying to leverage the intellectual property that we're generating every day on college campuses.
It's going to be how well our research institutions like Virginia Tech partner with the private sector.
So, I think an example of this is the Virginia Tech Carillion collaboration, which is a true public-private partnership. An important consequence of the success of VTC has been the number of new jobs that we've brought to the region. And, this is what I see Go Virginia being all about, bringing high-paying jobs all across the Commonwealth.
We're already seeing good activity. ANOVA launched the Institute for Personalized Medicine, and they're doing it in collaboration with UVA to start with, which is fantastic. UVA's involved. There'll be others involved.
I think the state can obviously incentivize a lot of these bottom-up practices. We can make this a long-term sustainable program. I think it's also important to make sure that we repurpose some money.
I think the reason you saw a bipartisan coalition of state leaders and business leaders coming together last year for Go Virginia was they saw it was a chance to help foster more collaborative efforts across regions. I think that's the reason it will be successful going forward.
This is not a sprint. This is going to be a marathon. This will be a long-term process.
Having a reliable state partner is something that will ensure success. We're all in.
This is a long-term horizon project. We're looking at what we need to do to be successful.
If we can get regions to cooperate as a matter of course, nothing will hold Virginia back.